Backlash against Katy Perry is not ending, with both Joe Rogan and Martha Stewart chiming in over the weekend, along with PR experts who are claiming the singer may face career extinction.
Joe Rogan just obliterated Katy Perry for managing to turn a 4-minute space float into an international laughingstock.
And Joe Rogan is sitting there with Tim Dillon just mocking her. She's basically a guru.
Her glittery feminist mission backfired so spectacularly that even Hollywood elites are lining up to roast her.
Showcase the utter defeat of American feminism. This author, the trip leaned on vision of women's empowerment that is light on substance and heavy on childlike girlish silliness.
From wilted daisies to diva tantrums, this wasn't empowerment, it was a $500,000 PR stunt that crashed and burned in the most hilarious way possible.
Non-serious event, a PR stunt.
Joe Rogan, naturally, couldn't resist joining the pylon. He called Katy Perry a guru, and honestly, with all her rambling about divine feminine energy and surrendering to the unknown, he wasn't even wrong.
It's better now that the ladies are back from space.
Thank you for having me. What were they up there, 10 minutes?
Well, it was very profound. I don't know if you've seen Katy Perry talk about it, but she's basically a guru now.
Yeah. What were her findings? That's my question.
Well,
what were her findings?
Well,
she sounded like she was coming back from a yoga retreat, not suborbital space. It's amazing what a few zero-gravity selfies can do to someone's ego. Meditation in a rocket? Girl, you were airborne for less time than it takes to update an iPhone. Let's all calm down.
But a daisy, which is super important.
What a daisy.
Katy Perry took a joyride that lasted all of 11 minutes, and if that sounds short, wait until you hear that only 4 of those minutes were actually in zero gravity. 4. As in less time than it takes to microwave a hot pocket and realize it's still frozen in the middle.
Wow.
Look at her nails. So pretty.
Now, so they go up there and they float for like 10 minutes?
At least.
And then they come down.
Let's not minimize this.
No, I know.
Let's not minimize this. For real, they did float for 10 minutes.
But somehow the media tried to spin this glittery elevator ride to the edge of space like it was a revolutionary leap for womankind. Groundbreaking? Literally not even close.
Not stopping for Katy Perry anytime soon. Look, and I don't think we should be bullying her.
Katy Perry didn't just hitch a ride, she packaged it as a spiritual pilgrimage. Meanwhile, Gayle King was out here crying about the ride of a lifetime.
I don't even know how much it's going to change me.
And Gayle King is upset.
You have never said to an astronaut, boy, what a ride.
And Lauren Sanchez? She called it the highest high. Bold words coming from people who barely crossed the Kármán line and were back on Earth before most of us finish an Uber ride.
Celebrate female astronauts.
And because they were united.
Because a lot of men astronauts, they have to go to school.
Right.
They have to learn how to be a pilot first. Then they have to join the Air Force.
And let's not forget Megyn Kelly, queen of the media roast. She swooped in and did what needed to be done, took one look at this space fluff and said exactly what everyone was thinking. Are we seriously comparing this influencer field trip to real astronauts like Alan Shepard?
Over the top. It's over the top.
It's not just about going to space. It's the training.
They're training?
The man walked on the moon. Meanwhile, Katy Perry floated around in a jumpsuit for a few minutes and came back ready to sell you healing crystals.
Again, obsession with makeup and having to look glam while you do it. It doesn't speak for all women. Sure, some women, but this generalization of all of it was just embarrassing for most women out there reacting and responding. This did not go over well.
And the media, oh, they were serious. Like super serious. They tried to wrap this whole spectacle in feminist gold foil and beam it straight into the history books. But here's the problem, when your empowerment moment is bankrolled by billionaires, lasts less than the runtime of a sitcom episode, and comes with Instagram captions about divine energy, people are going to laugh. And laugh they did.
They can see the unity that we modeled and understand that we weren't just taking up space, we were making space. 10 out of 10 reviews.
Now let's talk about the line that honestly deserves a spot in the cringe hall of fame. We weren't just taking space, we were making space. Katy, what does that even mean? You were floating in a capsule, not rewriting the laws of physics.
The problem is, they never get the right.
What is funny is immediately after they landed.
That one's pretty good.
It is funny to do something like this, and then everyone hates you. Like everyone hates them.
They shouldn't hate her.
The internet pounced on that line like it was a Black Friday doorbuster. It instantly became the meme of the moment, a shiny example of how out of touch celebrity culture has gotten. It's giving inspirational poster in a yoga studio, not NASA material.
Proud of us. I really am proud of me.
Flowers for me, I believe, are like God's laughter. I have so much love for my daughter Daisy, and I have so much love for Mother.
And she didn't stop there. Katy started waxing poetic about God's laughter, blooming flowers, and how her daughter Daisy inspired her cosmic journey. That's cute and all, but this wasn't a Pixar movie. It was a Jeff Bezos rocket launch. Sponsored by vanity and PR desperation, Joe Rogan, bless him, asked the question everyone was thinking: what exactly were her findings? Because last I checked, there was no data, no research, just vibes and sparkles.
Funny that they just get called astronauts.
It's funny to hear the richest guy in the world's
Lauren Sanchez.
wife go, "We're all in it together."
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if people feel that.
Lauren Sanchez, not to be outdone, hit us with, "We're all in this together." Ma'am, you spent $500,000 on a glorified amusement park ride. The rest of us are just trying to figure out how to afford groceries.
The Lauren Sanchez quote, "We're all in this together."
Describe it, because you know what I was saying. It was like quiet, but then also really alive. And you look at it and you're like, we're all in this together.
No, you're not. No, we're not.
One person on Twitter said it best: some people can't afford eggs, and Katy Perry is out here floating around like it's a Nobel mission. That's the kind of reality check these celebs need engraved on a commemorative plaque.
There's been a lot of blowback from Hollywood leftists, not just people like you and me. Hollywood leftists, these are the people who are supposed to love them, who are ripping these women to shreds. It's beautiful.
Let's talk about the almighty price tag. A ticket on Blue Origin costs anywhere between $200,000 and $500,000. That's right, $500,000 for 11 minutes of empowerment. You know what's actually empowering? Affordable healthcare. Clean water. Maybe school funding for girls who actually want to become scientists. But sure, Katy Perry's glittery galactic glam trip was apparently the real feminist milestone.
You have never said to an astronaut, boy, what a ride. You know, we duplicated the same
An astronaut.
trajectory that Alan Shepard did back in the day.
First of all, Alan Shepard walked on the moon, Gail. You did not walk on the moon.
Critics didn't hold back either. Plenty pointed out this wasn't about space, women, or science. It was a desperate Hail Mary to prop up Blue Origin's image. Because let's be honest, they're trailing embarrassingly far behind SpaceX. This flight wasn't a triumph, it was a marketing gimmick draped in glittery feminist slogans. PR experts called it exactly what it was: a strategic distraction from the fact that Elon Musk is out here launching astronauts on real missions. While Jeff Bezos sends celebrities on influencer retreats to the stratosphere.
We're still alive. We're still vibrant.
Yeah, and it's
Look at her.
always
Shout out Daisy.
Wow.
Look at her nails. So pretty.
Now, so they go up there and they float for like 10 minutes.
Joe Rogan, naturally, landed the knockout punch. Real astronauts just spent 8 months stranded in orbit and were rescued by SpaceX, and the media barely blinked. But Katy Perry goes on an 11-minute joyride, and suddenly she's the cover story of every lifestyle magazine in America.
1, 2, 3, taking up space!
I'm so Days! And I am inspirational. I'm proud of me. Good for me. That's the messaging coming back.
Even Wendy's, yes, the fast food chain, jumped into the roast. They trolled the mission on Twitter with the same deadpan sarcasm we were all thinking. And honestly, when a burger chain is more grounded than your $500,000 rocket ride, maybe it's time to log off and rethink your life choices.
You guys are gonna do up in space. What are you doing up there? I mean, it's, by the way,
They're going for 11 minutes.
Don't show your boobs. Don't get your specially made spacesuit so that we can make sure to see all your curves as you go to outer space. Is that what it is to be a woman?
This wasn't empowerment, it was a vacation. This wasn't history, it was a hashtag. Katy Perry, who once topped the charts with actual bangers, now lights up the internet with memes about floating like a plastic bag. Which, ironically, is a line from her own song. Life imitates art, I guess, or in this case, art imitates a PR disaster at Mach 3.
Find inspiration in this. You've got some very rich, famous women who were selected because they're rich and famous, not because they've got any understanding of science or space. I think this is just so completely unrelatable to the average person.
Katy Perry, floating in the upper stratosphere, preaching about Mother Earth while hitching a ride on Jeff Bezos' ego rocket, a rocket, by the way, that pumps out more carbon in 10 minutes than most people generate in a year. She literally looked down on the planet and called it beautiful, as if her soul had merged with the ozone layer. Girl, the irony was visible from space, which, lucky for her, she barely managed to reach.
So much more gracious, and also I think it's a reflection of celebrity culture where it's so much navel gazing and narcissism, where it was about, her and Katy Perry's meditation and her inner love and all that, as opposed to thanking the engineers at Blue Origin. That might be more appropriate.
Her glittery feminist mission backfired so spectacularly that even Hollywood elites are lining up to roast her.
Nick and me thinks that it was just a marketing strategy by Blue Origin, which is way far behind SpaceX and the commercial private space industry. This is a way to get a lot of media and attention and hype, putting famous people with perfect hair up in space for 2 minutes in that zero gravity environment.
From wilted daisies to diva tantrums, this wasn't empowerment, it was a $500,000 PR stunt that crashed and burned in the most hilarious way possible.
Making space. Try this one. It's so fun when people. Why is it so fun when people get pretentious? Because you're terrified that you would ever do it.
Well, yeah, and I also think it's fun to see somebody who has no self-awareness.
Yeah.
They're always the most fun.
Joe Rogan, naturally, couldn't resist joining the pylon. He called Katy Perry a guru, and honestly, with all her rambling about divine feminine energy and surrendering to the unknown, he wasn't even wrong.
1, 2, 3, taking up space!
She sounded like she was coming back from a yoga retreat, not suborbital space. It's amazing what a few zero-gravity selfies can do to someone's ego. Meditation in a rocket? Girl, you were airborne for less time than it takes to update an iPhone. Let's all calm down.
I'm so days, and I am inspirational. I'm proud of me. Good for me. That's the messaging coming back.
Katy Perry took a joyride that lasted all of 11 minutes. And if that sounds short, wait until you hear that only 4 of those minutes were actually in zero gravity. 4. As in less time than it takes to microwave a hot pocket and realize it's still frozen in the middle.